and we have ensured that we have consistently communicated what is happening. We have partnered with all stakeholders, and we say it for a fact that as the Commission, we have done a good job. But some things need to be put out there. As you can see, the four of us, we are here, not at Bomas of Kenya, where the result is going to be announced, because of the opaque nature of how this case has been handled. We therefore cannot take ownership on the results that is going to be announced. However, we have an open door that people can go to court, and because of the same, we urge Kenyans to be peaceful, because the rule of the law is going to prevail. Thank you.
The next day.
Guards, our reasons to decline to take ownership of the results so declared and announced are as follows. 1. That the aggregation of the percentages of the results scored by the 4 presidential candidates who were on the ballot as declared by Mr. Chebukati presented to us a mathematical absurdity that defies logic. Take notice that Mr. Chebukati's aggregation was as follows. Raila Odinga, 48.85%. William Ruto, 50.49%. Waiga Maure, 0.27%. Wajakoya George, 0.44%. This summation gives us a total of 100.01%. The 0.01% translates to approximately 142,000 votes, which will make a significant difference in the final results. We therefore decline to take ownership of the said results because the aggregation resulted in a total exceeding the percentage of 100, which cast doubt on the accuracy of the source of the figures tallied, and when we demanded that we verify our record, the chairman declined, overruled us, and insisted on declaring and announcing the said result. That, number 2, contrary to the Constitution and legislation, the results declared and announced did not indicate the total number of registered voters, the total number of votes cast, or the number of rejected votes, if any. In this regard, the results announced by Mr. Chebukati lacked a critical ingredient, namely the total number of valid votes cast to support the percentages scored by the 4 candidates. Unless demonstrated otherwise, we all know that the percentage is essentially a fraction of a whole number. Hence, if, for example, the 7.17 million valid votes cast in favor of the winning candidate, as declared and announced by Mr. Chebukati, translates to 50.49%, Then it was 50.49 of what? Further, take notice that Mr. Chebukati claimed that Raila Odinga attained 25% of votes in 34 counties, while William Ruto attained 25% in 39 counties. The question is, which figures in the 34 and 39 counties respectively constituted the independent variable to warrant the conclusion of 25% in 34 counties and 25% in the 39 counties for Raila and Ruto respectively? In the absence of a credible and verifiable explanation, we concluded that the process that went into generation of Form 34C, which he used to declare results of the presidential election, was opaque and incapable of earning our ownership and confidence. Number 3, guided by the authority of Maina Kiai case, petition number 106 of 2016, as upheld by the Court of Appeal in Civil Appeal number 105 of 2017 and affirmed by the Supreme Court of Kenya, we state categorically that the results of the presidential election held in August 9, 2022, declared and announced by Mr. Wafula Chebukati on August 15, 2022, belonged to himself and do not represent the declaration and announcement by Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. The Commission has to process the results before they are declared and announced by the chairperson. For the avoidance of doubt, let me quote the Maina Kiai case. It says, "We reiterate as we conclude that there is no doubt from the architect of the law, we have considered that the people of Kenya did not intend to vest or concentrate such sweeping and boundless powers in one individual, the chairperson of the appellant." The emphasis is that the Commission's chairperson has conducted the election as though he is the National Returning Officer, a non-existent role, and his role in declaring results that were not approved by plenary by all 7 commissioners renders the results unconstitutional to the extent that this is his own results as opposed to those of IEBC. In keeping to Article 138(2) of the Constitution, there is no national presidential election in Kenya, but rather the presidential election is held in each constituency. Point number 4, that in contrary to the Constitution and legislation, by the time the chairman declared and announced the final results from certain constituencies had not been announced. This is our statement. We promised you a comprehensive statement, so here we are, and we are going to give it out to the media. Thank you.
At what point did you realize that there was opaqueness?
A few moments later.
I, Paul Mokatudu, was the chief agent of Agono Party. I took for the night, the days in the turning center, National Turning Center. Being sober, I was watching everything that was taking place on the floor. Our concerns is because we have to protect 53 million Kenyans. We don't want to put our nation into trouble. As we were seated there, we observed people who disguised as observers who came in because they had official badges as per requirement. But eventually we realized there is a change of character. Whereas we know the work of observer is to observe, but not to manipulate or even to enter into the details where IEBC staff and agents were much involved. But eventually we realized they came, began to manipulate. I alarmed to Commissioner Waderi, and eventually nothing was done. I insisted, still nothing was done. On the same course, we realized they were targeting particular computers or laptops in the house, some of which were IEBC materials or agents' materials. I studying on one desk. Actually, I was not verifying together with the team on the desk. Mine was only to see how my agent is carrying on the business because I was overseeing. But eventually, 3 principals of Azimio came on that desk when I was studying. They questioned the computer, which was being held by a man, I don't know the name, and they insisted that that computer should be put off the desk. The young man obeyed, but eventually, as he was carrying on, a principal of Azimio, whose name can be mentioned elsewhere, insisted, and
you can mention it here.
I can mention it here.
Right, yes.
My lawyer says so. Charity Giro of Azimio insisted on the computer, and as she was proceeding to pick it for whichever interest we didn't know, Sholei, who was also working as agent of Kenya Kwanza, through a big commotion, was able to pick on that computer and handed over to the police who were in the floor. Gumo, also a worker of Azimio in the same manner, was saying that they are going to destroy those computers. Whereas I saw the young man was being nagged, I chipped into the case, and eventually, as the issues were going on, that is when we realized that another computer has been has been removed from the floor, and how they were able to run away with it. Up to this moment, none of us can tell. With the consultation with the DCI, Deputy DCI at Bomas of Kenya, he confirmed to me that they were looking for it through ICT technologies, and they could tell it was within the 300 meters circle, and they were actually looking for it at this moment. I don't know whether they have recovered it, but it was taken by Azimio cartels. The other issue is causing conflicts and confusion by chief agent of Azimio, who could always rise up with the unnecessary issues. They had even targeted me, and they were taking videos, which I said I wouldn't allow that if they are taking any record, if they have no media copyright. And eventually, one of the Agnes of Azimio stopped the guy who was taking me videos. There was a lot of intimidation. That followed suit, even when Azimio chief agent stood at the pulpit. The IEBC pulpit had declared the house a scene of crime. He was eventually seized by the police officers, but not hurt or not even action was taken. So we can say...
Give names where you know them.
Yeah, which actually we were not happy as the agents were carrying on the business, because nobody was seized to go and consult with the official staff of IEBC, even hiccup rose. Chairman Chebukati was within the environment all through, and all commissioners were available for any question, and even the desk staff were actually assisting us accordingly. So the cause of conflict we did not understand. I come to yesterday when I am the one who signed among the 3 chief agents. I'm the one who signed the last results. And the chief agent of Azimio came to the room where we were signing, and wanted to tear down all the materials of the results that was seized by Chairman Chebukati. Whereas now we were ready to go and declare through the returning officer, when I was just slightly behind the chairman, I saw the guy coming very confrontationally and was about to knock out the chairman. I realized there is already war on the stage. I ran away from the stage. But from there, we watched everything that happened, like they were disrupting everything, took the pulpit down, they broke the lights, bulbs. They did all kind of manner they could have done. This is a sign of that they knew they are defeated, but they were trying to seize the IEBC to declare the results. Thank you very much.
Let's just cross over and listen in to what he has to say.
That the anointed of the Lord is not to be touched. But also we are reminded that when we know the truth shall set us free. We in Agono are 100% in support of his win, and he's receiving the certificate. We are looking forward to his being handed over the reins of leadership. Thank you very much. I'll have my chief agent come here and in 3 minutes tell you some actual things he saw, he witnessed. And please, Bishop, if you can come and sit here.